So one of the lawyers involved in the P. Diddy case just said that there's going to be a lot of names that are going to shock us. I don't think so. I know there's going to be a lot of celebrities, but more importantly, there's going to be some high-profile politicians on that list as well. And this is what Jaguar Wright had to say, and she hasn't been wrong a lot. Check it out.
Nobody's talking about the fact that old Kamala Harris has ties to the diddler. And his Howard parties, where a lot of AKAs attended. Maybe they're all ordering pizza again.
Candy?
You already know if I'm going to take it?
Wouldn't be much of an oracle if I didn't.
But if you already know, how can I make a choice?
Because you didn't come here to make the choice. You've already made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it.
Welcome, my friends. My name is Antoine Phoenix, and this is my RP experience. Welcome, and thank you for clicking on this video. I hope I made the thumbnail enticing because I think sometimes that's my weakness, but I always try to match the thumbnail up to what's in the video. Because what's the point of putting up a thumbnail, clickbaiting you to get in there, and then it's not what the video is about? I see a lot of people do that, but hey, if it's working for you. But me, I try to be consistent and as real as possible. Okay. My videos are usually about pointing out the difficulties in dating between men and women, pointing out what women be doing. Because there are a lot of content creators doing that, and they all take their own different ways of doing it. And some is a lot more successful with coming that toxic angle. And hey, once again, if it's working for you, then keep doing you. For me, because I have a lot of women associates, I have friends, I know women overseas, women here, in all different walks of life. And of course, I know a lot of dudes, but I know a lot more women. So because of that, I guess in a way, sometimes I sugarcoat it, but I don't look at it as that. Is me being conscious of, if they was to watch my video, I would not want them to think I'm directing it at them. And this would be the same thing if we were talking about racism or other nationalities, because I have lots of friends of other nationalities that I'm not going to come on here and say all white people are racist, because I've had white people do lots of beautiful things for me. Yes, I've had experienced racism as well. Now, let's get that out there. But if I was to weigh my experiences, most of my experiences was positive. Maybe 20, 30%, more like 20% was negative, sometimes passive aggressive, sometimes it gets a little bit more. Anyway, that's not what you are here for. This Jaguar Wright interview was off of Ticket TV. Now, I listened to the whole thing, and I was going to take the whole thing, but then he said some stuff later that he was going to cut it and send it to them. I hesitated if I was going to use it at all. But when I was flipping through videos, another creator snatched the core part of what I would have did, because I probably would have took too much of it, because I forget how long they talked. I think they talked for a good 20 minutes. But the clip that I took is just 10 minutes. And the one thing I have to say about this woman is she has no fear. She has no fear. And of course, sometimes people do come online and they lie about people. I've experienced when people are telling half truths to me about someone. Like, I know both people and they're telling me something, and then when I go to the other person, they're telling me something, and only by getting recorded evidence that maybe one person have, I'll see that the other person left it out. And that's the one thing though that I hate that a lot of women do. This is one thing that men don't do. What they'll do is they'll leave it vague and they just won't say it. Or they'll look the other way if something's going wrong, like the no snitching thing. Like, the thug in the hood that's robbing and getting away with stuff, but only because maybe you are scared of them, or either that's your boy, you look the other way. Okay? That's what a lot of men do. For women, sometimes when they're telling the story, they will leave certain parts out of the story, and it will have you wondering if you're new to the game or you're young, when a woman tells you a story, you will believe everything that she said. But years later or months later, you will find out. And I know this because this has happened to me when the ex was talking about me, and she would say something such as, well, I just can't talk to him. He just leaves when we get into an argument. And she would leave out that she would start getting real toxic. She'll say something that really gets under my skin. I'll snap and say something really foul to her that I would not mean to say, but in reaction to her, I would say it. And then, because she did not like what I would say, she would probably start hitting me. And then I would definitely have to go. And sometimes when I see it escalating to that point, I would just leave. She would leave that part out of the conversation. Now, I'm not saying Jaguar Wright is doing that right there. I'm just saying that's what a lot of women tend to do when they are telling the story to make themselves appear like they are an angel. Now, I give Jaguar credit that when she's telling the story, she'll say that she was in the industry, that she did used to be a dominant matrix, that she was a S worker. Okay, so that's a so for me, they give me more credits to what she is saying, because she will at least own her stuff of how she contributed to this. Now, of course, she changed and she's on the side of trying to get people out and get the word out of what these people are doing. But she does not hide the fact that she used to be in the game. In another thing, she doesn't play the victim thing of like, oh, I got bamboozled into that and I didn't know what I was doing and stuff like that. And that's another thing that a lot of women would do. So because of that right there, I'm inclined to believe that at least 70-80% of the stuff that she is saying is true. Maybe all of it is true. But even if it's that little bit of amount, well, not a little bit, but even if it's not the full amount, that's still a lot to take in. So without further ado, let's get to the interview.
This is my thing, right? So you said these things about LeBron James, but you said it indirectly. Like, for example, you said it's Illuminati. What did you mean by that? Like, when you said that?
Well, when I say Illuminati, I'm talking about the darker end of the Illuminati. You know, there's tiers to this whole game. And the black faces that we see in power were selected to be there for a reason. And they are given the illusion of power, but the truth is they're being ran by a bunch of other people in the backdrop. And that's why they're starting to fight so hard, because their big daddies are screaming because profit share is down, and I'm destroying people's money. See?
Right. So, but what I'm saying is, so, but why? How do you connect LeBron James to that? Because you're saying LeBron James is a part of the Illuminati. How are you
Oh, he
connecting him
is. He
to
was
that?
he was chosen and selected. I remember when he was first coming around. Everyone in the organization was so excited. They were all betting on him like he was a prize horse. And I heard all of the plans that they had for him and all of the medicines that they had planned to make him the most invincible basketball player of all time.
So
Hasn't worked out so great for them.
with the LeBron thing, you also reference like the I guess the PED usage. Now you ain't the only one that said stuff about just questioning how he's like performing like he is. There was another guy who was a professional MMA fighter, Chael Sonnen, and he
He's the
basically
guy. He's the Ivan guy from fucking Rocky. LeBron got more special medicine inside of him than a goddamn fucking space rocket.
But how would you know that though? How would you be able to make those claims and know that? Because people are gonna.
Because I know the people that work with his doctors. I know the people that work with his medical physicians. I know the people that work with his doctors. I know what his doctors specialize in.
So if they legally would come at you, you'd be ready for whatever.
I dare somebody to take me to court. I dare them.
Check this out, Jaguar. You said one other thing in that LeBron piece, and you said this. You said one other thing in that little segment. You was talking about LeBron, and you said that like you think that this will be exposed or revealed soon. When you said that,
absolutely.
like, what did you mean? You think? I'm saying, when you said that, you think are you saying that you think that LeBron's name is gonna come up in this stuff?
I'm gonna tell you this. And I'm going to say it this way for a reason, because I want to protect your channel. I want to see you grow. We need more YouTubers like you. We need more CCs like you who are actually interested in getting to the truth. So this is what I'm going to say. There were things that were happening in the NBA that LeBron James was very comfortable with that Kobe Bryant wasn't. And that's real trap.
Jaguar, would you be willing to sit down with LeBron's team if they ever wanted to hit you, like go, like have
I'd love to.
Face?
I will see. I'm friends. I'm friends with the niece of one of the owners. We used to go over there to the box. She's afraid to talk to me now, though. She used to be a Comic-Con model. Yeah,
so
I know. I know people. Look, I don't think. Did you hear what I just said? One of the owners of the Lakers that works with that bus bitch. I'm friends with his niece. Like I sat in the box. I'm not. I don't have to brag. I wish somebody from the Lakers would fucking say something. I wish they would explain more about Kobe Bryant. You know, everybody kept talking about Vanessa Bryant. Nobody wants to talk about Vanessa Bryant. I wonder why. 15-year-old child bride sold off to the NBA. I wonder why, allegedly. But then it is a fact that when Kobe met Vanessa, she was only 14 and a half years old and she was booty shaking on a Snoop Dogg video, because that's where they met, at a Snoop Dogg video where, you know, a lot of girls got moved around, just like they did on Rick Ross video shoots. You know, I find it interesting that nobody is asking Vanessa Bryant why she don't want to give Kobe's parents anything.
Well, I never heard about, as far as the Vanessa claims, I never heard anything about
Vanessa was a child. Vanessa was a child bride. Her parents knew that Kobe was about to turn 20 years old. They were perfectly okay with him meeting their daughter. What was their daughter doing at a Snoop Dogg video shoot underage in the first place?
I've never heard anything about that.
Oh yeah, that's where Kobe Bryant and Vanessa met, on a Snoop Dogg video shoot, while he was over 18 and in the NBA and making lots of money, and she was 14 going on 15 years old.
Jaguar, you know you saying this stuff. You're going to have to prove this shit now.
I don't got to prove it. Anybody can go and find out. You can go and find out. All of this shit is online. Snoop laughed that he was the one that introduced Kobe to his wife. He just didn't say she was 15.
So you trying to claim that Kobe didn't know?
No, Kobe knew. Just like he knew about what was going on. I wish more people would talk to that girl that he had that incident with out there in Colorado when they was trying to put him in the news to get him to do the things that they wanted him to do and say the things they wanted him to say. He was high out of his mind when all of that sodomy went on with that white girl, and she was so willing to come forward. Everything was handled so nice. Like I said, maybe there's just things that LeBron was willing to do for the Lakers that Kobe wasn't.
Jaguar.
And him being at Diddy parties is just the tip of the iceberg.
Jaguar, let me ask you a question. What made you speak about LeBron though the other day? Like when you spoke about him, what made you say his name?
His son,
What you mean?
Bronny. They gonna kill that boy. That boy's that just because he keeps thinking that because his DNA is in that boy, that the same magic medicine that worked on him is gonna work on his kid. He done already damn near dropped dead once. Like, is nobody not thinking about the fact that that kid almost dropped dead just a couple years ago when they were trying to make him his daddy the first time? Anybody that got to say anything to be about that big baby, that big cheater, LeBron James, you can eat my dick. Michael Jordan, that's real talent. I couldn't even stand Kobe Bryant. I knew Kobe when we was kids. He lived right over there in Marion. Right there in Lower Marion, right across the other side of City Avenue. I remember when Kobe Bryant, I was the one that told him, stop trying to rap. Let Shaq make a fool of himself. You don't need to do it too. Like, I wish people would stop trying to act like I ain't who the fuck I am. But this is the thing that trips me out. Any of these weirdo LeBron James fans, fuck y'all. Fuck every last one of y'all. Y'all think that nigga ain't weird? Dwayne Wade was supposed to be his best fucking friend. You see how weird he is? And all of these niggas is tied to Rock Nation or Bad Boy in one way or the other. Like, why do people not want to accept the fact that you were stupid? You fell for those campaigns. You fell for the sneakers. You fell for the t-shirts.
Man.
That's all it took. That's all it took to get y'all on the hook. A fake jersey and some fucking overpriced sneakers that was probably stitched up by some children that was trafficked. Like, y'all people are corny. Fuck you and your goddamn fairy tales. How about this? Santa Claus ain't real and the bunny rabbit is a freak. Like, what's wrong with you people?
Oh, yeah, let me ask you one last thing. Because they said, I know you're going to say something about this. So they told me to ask you this in the comments. So Ray J said that
her when she was alive, and your sister was reported the first person to find her after she was deceased.
Wow, this woman has some heart. And, well, the same thing, she has no fear. She has just pointed out people that people hold up here. Because I know Ticket TV loves Kobe Bryant. She put him down in the dust, saying that he got with a minor. And I knew Vanessa Bryant was younger than Kobe, but I thought maybe she was 17 and he was 18 when he met her. Because I could have swore when Kobe Bryant had came out of high school, I thought he met Vanessa when he was still in high school. But hey, she said he met her on a Snoop Doggy Dogg video, and Snoop Dogg confirmed that he introduced Kobe to his wife. She went in on LeBron James with those supplements. And I remember watching the video of that guy saying that LeBron gets those, whatever they are. I don't want to call them drugs, but enhancers that he's been on to enable him to play at such a high level at 40. Because nobody else has never been able to play that long at a high level. So that's true too. And of course, LeBron himself says no party like a Diddy party. So it's just such a web that's been weaved, and this woman has put it together nicely. Is she totally telling the truth? I mean, she knows so many people, and she's seen spot on with a lot of her accusations that I'm inclined to believe that she knows what she's talking about. Tell me what you think below in the comments. If you have any evidence to counter what she's saying, put it in the comments. But I think she's telling the truth. Is it something that I'm forgetting? No, I don't think it's nothing that I'm forgetting. Oh, and watch some more of my videos. If you miss my past Diddy videos, you can see one of those two. But I have a host of other videos that I'm sure that you will like. So thanks for being here. Hope to see you soon. Have a good day.
Here are some Diddy NBA facts. In 2007, in order to get the most All-Star fan votes possible, Gilbert Arenas paid Diddy $2 million to throw a massive party in order to drum up attention and make the All-Star starting lineup. This did end up working, as Gilbert Arenas received 1,454,166 total votes, and he barely edged out Vince Carter, who got 1,451,156 votes, so he won by 3,010 votes, making the All-Star starting five. So while the plan technically worked, Arenas said he hated the party. Only God knows what happened during that party. Sean Diddy Combs was also a part of the 2012 dunk contest. He helped throw an alley-oop to Chase Budinger. I'm surprised Chase didn't slip on the floor during this dunk attempt, but good for him for landing that dunk, although it seemed like Diddy enjoyed it more than Chase did. Ultimately, though, it was Jeremy Evans who won that dunk contest. Diddy attended the 2006 NBA All-Star Game. In this game, LeBron won All-Star MVP. A few years later, he ended up performing in the 2014 All-Star Game. However, the important news about that day is that Diddy claimed he threw an after party and danced with LeBron. Diddy, of course, attended Biggie Night in Brooklyn back in 2017 when the Nets retired Biggie Smalls' jersey. Obviously, Biggie never played in the NBA, but he is a Brooklyn icon.